Okay, so for this video, we're going to go over Sam Winchester's name, and what possible references they could have pulled from subconsciously or consciously in order to give his name more meaning. So for those that are unfamiliar with the idea, there are several characters in fiction that authors will intentionally choose a name to give the character more meaning, or to give the audience more information about the character, or hints about what they're about. For example, Luke Skywalker. Skywalker very easily could mean space. And then, of course, you got Sirius Black. Sirius actually means dog in a different language. His actual name is Black Dog, or Dog Black, and he transforms into a black dog. Things of that nature. The family name Winchester is already an example of this. They clearly chose Winchester, which is a gun manufacturer, to give the family name a kind of flair. But what about their first names? Like I said earlier, we're going to go over Sam's today. In Hebrew, Sam's name means told by God or heard of God. There's a broader context with the other Winchesters that this makes more sense, but even by itself, as the series has progressed, it could be seen as a little hint that God will be telling them what to do, or at least be a bigger part of the series. This also could be a reference to the Book of Samuel. He was a biblical prophet and judge, I guess. One of the main themes is apparently the idea of redemption that he covers in his chapters. And really supernatural, this was, Sam's arc, the demon blood and all that. Another thing the writers might have pulled from subconsciously, there's a song from Pink Floyd called Lucifer Sam. Basically about, a spooky cat or whatever, but the naming pair of Lucifer and Sam combined with the time period being in the 70s, which is where the majority of the music comes from, the late 70s, early 80s. Serendipitous, if not intentional. For those that have no knowledge of serial killers, this probably makes absolutely no sense. However, this man was known as the Son of Sam. I'm not going to be going into too much detail about the Son of Sam or any of the incidents. The laws were trying to stop him from making a profit off of his murders. So any laws that have to do with this are colloquially known as the Son of Sam laws. So this man's story has changed a lot depending on who's interviewing him, when he's being interviewed, or what circumstances are given. However, I'll be going over some of the parallels to the character Sam versus this serial killer, and some of these events kind of match up eerily. The significance of fire in both their lives. David was an arsonist, apparently, as a kid. Sam lost both his mother and his girlfriend to fire. It is technically a demon, but, fire that he ended up using. So from here out, we're going to be talking about David's recounting of what happened and not what actually happened, because even to this day, there are still a lot of people that believe that not everything matches up. But you definitely know that he killed people, but, there's a whole other angle to this story here. Now, depending on the interview time frame, or what state of mind David was in, or who's interviewing, there's a bunch of stuff that he said happened. Some of those have included that he was possessed by a demon. There was another time he said that a demonic dog told him what to do. There was another time he said he was part of a ritual, ritual killings for a satanic cult. There's other times where he said he was working directly for Satan. You could see he could kind of guide someone to making the character Sam from Supernatural, as far as his initial arc. But one of the big things that initially led me to think that this is what was happening.
But not different because you were some lonely kid, or because of your weirdo family.
Stop it.
Or because you're a monster.
Shut up!
He wrote a letter at one point to the cops, and he claimed that he was drinking blood. However, his story didn't end there, for those that care at least. He became a born-again Christian. He apparently posts a lot on Bible forums, and he now helps a lot of people in prison. Apparently there's been a family that's kind of forgiven him for what he's done as the Son of Sam. And he's kind of given himself a new name, just Son of Hope. From his belief, was on a path to redemption, and he's been forgiven by the eyes of God. With Sam, we know that he got cleansed from Castiel, which, was working for God. Even with the context of the later seasons, we know that Sam was forgiven. He made it to heaven a few times.
This has something to do with your freaky fetish for serial killers.
It's not a fetish.
Thanks for watching this video. Let me know if any of this gives a new light, and if you're interested, I can make one for the rest of the Winchester families. But he definitely had the most meat on the bones. there's still some interesting stuff with the rest of the family. So yeah, let me know.